start recording. Okay guys, so we are starting our class for today on the back end, right, with the nodejs. Before that I will record here also. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so everyone, you can hear my voice now, right? Clear. Okay, so nodejs, exactly what is nodejs now? What is nodejs, right? If you go to the GitHub, if you go to the GitHub here, right, in our GitHub, if you open the GitHub and just find the what you call that, money stack, right? Maybe money stack folder. Okay, money stack folder, and you're gonna get the our course, whatever we are learning, right? So right now we are in nodejs repo, okay, folder, okay, nodejs. Inside nodejs you're gonna find the readme file. I mean, you can read through here. So if I have to read this, right, if I have to read this, nodejs in an open source server environment, right? Server environment. So what that means, right? Server environment means nodejs itself is just the what do you call that? It's just the environment, right, where you can run the JavaScript code. Okay, it's just the environment to run the JavaScript code. So in your server means if you have a server, right, it's just like a computer, your computer. Okay, so there is two things now. One is a web browser. So this is a web browser, right? This is the Chrome browser. Okay, Chrome browser has JavaScript inside, JavaScript engine, right, where you can run the JavaScript code. Program is what? Code, right? So if I go back and inspect this, what we see in the console, right, I can write the JavaScript code. If I say 5 plus 6 11, right, that is JavaScript code. Okay, if I say console log a window, maybe I just type window here, right, window. So there is a big object in the browser, right? There is a big object window, that is the main object, which has all different kinds of functionality, right? Inside this object you're going to find a lot of things. Okay, all these things are inside the window. All right, so later we're going to see the difference between nodejs JavaScript and the browser JavaScript. What is the difference? In nodejs you're not going to find a window. Okay, so whatever you have in the window, right, you're not going to get in the nodejs. That is the difference. In nodejs you don't have window, right? So we will look at later there. So in the Chrome browser there is a engine called V8 engine, right? V8. Okay, V8 engine for Chrome, right? Oh, that is also V8 car. Okay, so don't go with that one, right? V8, we can call it V8 engine for JavaScript Chrome browser, right? So that is JavaScript engine. Okay, that is something different. So V8 is a Google open source high performance JavaScript web assembly engine written in C++. Look at here, C++, right? That's important thing. So one of the engineer, right, what he did, his name was Rand something. Okay, Randall, right? Dahl. Okay, Randall. What he did, right, he removed the V8 engine from the Chrome browser. Okay, and because it has already C++ built with C++, right, so he added some functionality together and then make it run in the local engine, means in the computer, right? So they give the name nodejs, correct? So because of the C++ is a programming language which can talk to your machine, like machine, right? It can talk to the machine, like you can create a file, you can add, delete, you do a lot of functionality with your local machine, right? Machine level now. Okay, so that's why, because with a browser you cannot deal with your machine. Okay, you cannot connect like you cannot create file with your browser code, right? You cannot do that. But once you have nodejs in your computer you can do all that. Okay, and we will maybe check couple of things, right? Couple of maybe functionality with the how that work. Okay, so So that is all the nodejs. So nodejs can communicate to this server or local machine, right, because of this C++ inside that V8 engine. Okay, so that was the simple description, right? Description or definition about the nodejs. So nodejs is what? Runtime environment for the JavaScript code inside your local machine. Runtime environment, it just give an environment or place where you can run the JavaScript code. So benefit of nodejs, like let's look at the benefit of nodejs. You can run JavaScript outside of browser. One thing you can do that outside of browser. JavaScript can talk to the native machine, means our local machine, because of C+ inside, right? And you can create web server in JavaScript language. So now you have a JavaScript language, and using that language you can create a web server. And why we need web server? Because of that web server, right, we can communicate with the outside world now. Let's say you have a server somewhere, right? Let's imagine the Google has a server, it running on the nodejs operating nodejs program, right? Just imagine they create a server with nodejs, and now you say www.google.com, right? Means you request something to the Google server. Okay, so basically to handle all the communication now, right, you need a server, and we're going to learn how to create our own server and how to create all the routes and everything, right? We're going to check at that. Using nodejs as well. The one thing I will tell you, right, you can do all kind of things with nodejs, but again, nodejs has like a lengthy process of doing things. Okay, a lot of you have to write for simple exam. To do simple tasks, you have to write a lot of conditional, if else, lot of conditional, right? It's too much lengthy. Okay, and just to make things easy, right, for the developer, they came with the Express.js library. Okay, or you can call it module or library, right, which simplifies how you create your server in the nodejs. So we will look at an Express tomorrow, because to create our server, finally we will be using Express. We don't use nodejs, right? But because the nodejs is the programming language, the nodejs is the base for everything now, right, for your backend, we must get some idea about the nodejs. So if I ask what is nodejs, it's just a runtime environment. It uses the Google Chrome V8 JavaScript engine, right, to run JavaScript code in our local machine or in the server. Okay, that's simple enough. Runtime environment, it has V8 engine from the Chrome browser, and it basically we can run now JavaScript outside of the browser, right, because of that. So yeah, so that is done. Now you can install the nodejs. Anyone, you can just you must install nodejs in your computer, right? So you have to do nodejs, Google search, find the nodejs, and then install this, right? Everyone can install that. So just install the recommended for the most user, right? This is the current one, but you can just keep it LTS, right? So recommended for most user, you can install that one. Okay, so once you install the nodejs, it installed the nodejs program, and also it added the npm, right? Npm. So once the nodejs is installed, how we know, right, how we know that? So you can go to the terminal, let's say terminal, right, or maybe I will type command. So in my search bar here, I'll just go command, right, command, and click on here, and let's say I'll just type node and see what I get, right? Or maybe node dash version, right, version, to check what I have installed in my computer. Okay, so it's v18 12.1, right? So right now v18 16.1 is the LTS, right? So I think it's little old, but it's okay. 18 that's same, right? That's fine. So if someone if you have old one like 12 or something, right, you can just download this and install it. It will upgrade, right? You can do that. Okay, so once the node is installed, we see that along with the node, right, there is something called npm also, node package manager, when you install the nodejs, it also install node package manager, right? npm. So let's check npm dash dash version, right? So it's 8.19.2. so what is npm now, right? That is node package manager. Package, we talked about the package just now, right? Give me a second. Node package manager. So okay, so let's make it simple, right? Let's make it simple. npm, right? npm library. I mean, now you installing all the software using npm, right? npm install, maybe, you know, whatever you want to install, right? So just imagine this website, right, somewhere in the cloud. Okay, I mean, this is the way to connect to that server, but in the one of the computer there are thousands of software built like module, right, or using nodejs. Okay, they have built the program already, someone has built, right? So if I need to find even express, right? So if I search express, so express is one of the software built using nodejs. Okay, and it help us to create a server, right? Fast, unopinionated, minimalist means very minimum writing code, right, to create a server, web framework for nodejs. Okay, so to create a web framework for nodejs, I mean, that is the software. So in this, npm is just basically a library of software. Okay, it just manages all the library of the software, and you can use the keyword npm install and whatever you want to install. So this is npm I, that is install. I is short form of install. Any module, any library you can install, right, using this one. Okay, so what we have understand now, the npm, that is just the library of software from where you can access any program you need for your project, right? And we will install one and check how we can use that. Okay, fine. So once you install nodejs, you got these two done, right? The next will be let's say next one, to understand that module. So now tell me, right, we have learned about the module, you know, in our JavaScript we have learned module. Okay, so everyone is clear on module, because I know it's very difficult, right? I mean, it's just confusing part. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about that again. It's very important. The module is very important, right? So let's go through that one. All right, because once you understand module, you'll be start seeing, right, how things work. Because thousands of people have created software and you just install that, right, and you are using that. So exactly what is happening there, okay, behind the scene, right? I want to show you in that as a demo. Anyone creates software, then how it should look, right? We just do one example. Okay, let's look at that. So when you install any software, you just visualize that portion, right? What we're gonna do now. Okay, just visualize that and it will make you understand exactly what is happening there, because many people have created software, right, and we just using. So we should just understand, okay, this will be the function. If there is a function, we should execute that and things like that, right? So let's get through that one. So I'm going to create simple file, right, because the module is very important to understand. Let's do that. Okay, so now in our nodejs, just going to create a, okay, no, I'll just call it module, right? Module, and let's add one file here. I will call it math.js. Okay, so here, right, let's say let's imagine I'm gonna have 2 or 3 different functions. Okay, I'm creating software, right, which is gonna use by a lot of people. Just imagine that, right? So I will say const add, right, equal to maybe I'll just put arrow function. Okay, simple enough, and I'm just returning a plus b. I'm just creating simple program, right? A plus b, a comma b, right? Simple enough. So this is the function when I'm used in, this is just a function to add two number. That's it, right? Done. const subtract, right? So I'll just call it sub, and there will be two value, right? I'm going to subtract that. I mean, you can create any complex function, right? It's up to you. So return a minus b, simple enough. And I will add one more, multiply, right? Const multiply, okay. So will be, let's keep it a b, right? And then we're going to multiply that. So return multiplying that two numbers. So return a into b, right? B. Okay, so this is my software I created, I added to the npm, right? I need to use this one now. Just imagine that I'm gonna do npm install math, right? It will install in my my computer, in my project, right? Just imagine. Now I need to use this add, sub, and multiply, all this function, right? All this functionality. So normally how you export, right? So this is the module. Module is what? A module is just the function, right? For to do certain things, you have a function put together in one file, and then you export that. Okay, so I will just say module dot export. Okay, basically I think exports, right? Yeah, and I need to export all this add, sub, multiply. So you can export only one thing. For example, if I export something, right? Something, okay, let's see what happens. And I can export again module.export, right? Because sometimes we get confused. So let's say I will export maybe add. Oh no, right? Just call it add function. Just call this add, right? So first, let's look at the top one, and then we're gonna remove the comment and then check on again, right? So we are exporting this one from this file. We need a place to import, right? So just imagine I'm working in one of the maybe let's say calculator, right? Calculator is my file where I'm working right now. So and I need some so I need some functionality to do some calculation, right? So what I will do, I will say import, let's call it math, maybe import, let's say what I can call anything, right? What name I have given, module.export. So you can export anything here, right? So okay, let's give any name here, fine. So let's call it data, right? Or we can call it math itself, okay? And then from, right? From, oh sorry, if you have import like this, you're gonna have require, okay? Require, right? And then slash, you call the math. Good enough. So if I console log now, right? Console.log this math, what I will get. So how are we gonna run this code, right, in our nodejs? For now I will try just to run from here, okay? Run start debug, right? Let's see, nodejs. So it just give error, right? What is the error? Oh sorry, not import like that, it will be cons, right? My mistake. See, even I keep forgetting all this syntax. So now you have, first one will be const, just put in the variable, right, when you are requiring. That is one way. Okay, we will check the other way also, right? But that's the one way. So you just require whatever you export from here, from the calculator, right? Sorry, from the math here. You export something. So let's see what we have inside this one. First we understand that. So let's run again. So see, we get something, right? You get something, means that is what you export. If I undo this one, right, if I remove the comment and run again the code right here, run this again. So see, I get that add function, right? I get add function, okay? That is the function, whole arrow function. That math has right now add function. So what you have to understand now, right? You can only, in this way, you can only export one time. Module.export will be one time only in one file. That's it. That is what the point I try to add here. Now you have multiple function. How you do that? So you group it, you just add in your object. You can do this object, right? So you have add, subtract, and then you're gonna have multiply, right? Multiply. So you are sending one piece of data now. This is one object you are sending, right? And this is this structure because it's same like this. Add equal to add, like that. Okay. So this is this structure, right? Now add, sub, multiply. So someone has written the software and they are just exporting this, right? I install it, I'm just calling that in my calculator, like require math. Simple enough. Just imagine that, right? Someone has written the software, you just require that one here. Okay. So now, right, if I console log again, F5, let's run it. So see, you get now, right? Look at here. This math is what? Object. Everyone remember the object now? So object add, the property add, right, with the function there. Subtract has a function, multiply has a function. Simple enough. So now I can console log, right? I can console.log and I call it math. I can destructure also, right? This math one, I can destructure it, but I can even write math dot add, right? I can call the add function, and can I pass two number now? Because my add function need two numbers, so I can pass 5, 6. See? So if I console log now, right, I'm gonna get some value here. So let's run this. So see, I get 11, right? So I have the add function to use. So exact same thing happened, guys. Anyone who has written some function, right, means some code, and what you install from nodejs, sorry, npm, right? When you install that, there will be a set of object, there will be an object or maybe function, whatever, right? You're going to require that one or import that one in your code, and then you're going to just check how many functionality are there, like what are the things inside that object, right? And then use that function. So sometimes we just have to find the syntax, means what that function is needing, right? What that function is asking you, like you give me the string, maybe some number, some kind of data, or you pass some value there to do the job, right? Because to add, we just pass this to number. So from now on, right, whenever you install any program, just imagine, let's take one example, right? In nodejs, right, this module, this is the module now. The math, this file is a module, right? Module, because it has functionality built inside and which is exported. Okay. So normally in nodejs, right, we can call it three different kind of module, right? So let's take one. Okay. Let's see in the calculator here. Yeah. So let's take one module, right? We can call it built-in module. Okay. Module. So nodejs has built-in module already. That will be to handle file, right? File system. You have fs module. Okay. Fs, right? So it work like this. Const, I just put in the variable fs and I call require, require, and then I just pass this like fs. Done. File system, right? That's it. Okay. Because this is built in, right? You don't do dot from somewhere like that. We don't do, right? Because it's just there built inside our nodejs. You just call that file system, right? And fs, and then that done. So this should be, right, this should be some kind of like object with lot of things inside. Remember, we had this math with 3 function inside. Clear? I mean, just imagine the object with 3 function. Here we have, right? Okay, let's console log this and see what is there. Okay, so if I console log this now, right, fs, it should give us the object with maybe hundreds and thousands of functionality. So let's do that. F5 and look at here now, right? So this is the object. Append file sync, access sync, c chown, right? Whatever is that, chow mean whatever. Okay, so if you if you expand, I mean, this is so big, right? I don't know how to expand this, but you're not going to see all this here, but it has many functionality inside, many all this property. Remember, like add function, multiply function, subtract function, same thing, and you have function, right? So we will look at this later, right? We're going to look at that. Basically the file, we're going to look at a couple of examples with the file system, and then after that HTTP, right? So there is another built-in module called HTTP. So I will just give variable name HTTP, right? And I say require, simple enough, and we're going to pass HTTP. So this module, to use HTTP server, right, and client one must require node HTTP. Okay, so see, to create a server to handle with the communication, right, this module is used especially. So to handle with the file in your computer, like creating a file folder, adding text and all that, you're going to use this one. But when you're creating a server now, and routes and sending data to the other maybe database, whatever, right, you're going to use this module. So if you console log this HTTP, right, HTTP, you're going to see, let's run this. So see now, right, that's the last one, that's the object, exactly object. Okay, I don't know if this will expand, but client request, agent, status code, array of methods and all that. There is so many things inside. Okay, you just cannot see all here, but lot, right? So that is just the object. The point here is, when you import or require any module, right, you're gonna get object, and that object has something like functions built inside, and you just, if this is the object, then what you do, object dot, what we have done here, right, math dot add. If I do multiply and display the value, console dot log, I do math dot, right, multiply. So I'm getting that function already, see that, and I have to pass 2 numbers, so 10, 20. And if I run this F5, okay, so you're gonna get 200. See that? So just clear yourself, okay, just be clear, right? The module is nothing but the functionality built already, right? So depends, these two we see built inside the nodejs. Let's say you want to have a module which is third party, like until now we create our own module, right, and we look at the nodejs module also. So now we're going to look at the third party module, right? So third party module, so that means something inside here, right? So there is something called nodemon, okay, nodemon, right, nodemon. Let's look at the nodemon, okay, one example. So nodemon just help us to refresh your server continuously, right? Let's say you create a server already, now you make change to your file, right? The server must re-render, means rerun automatically to display the change. Okay, so for that reason in the development we use this nodemon. Okay, yeah, so you don't have to keep running the server all the time, right? Okay, so hope module is clear now, right, everyone? Any question on module? I mean, just imagine the functionality already built. You're just using that one, right? Sometimes you do import, sometimes you just do require and all that. Okay, so even you import or require same thing. This is different way, right? ES6 and the old way, I believe, so just remember that whatever you do, there will be object has all that functionality built inside, and you are using that functionality. I mean, there will be so many things, right? But normally you use couple of things, right, to do your job. So yeah, so now okay, let's get back, right? So what we can do is, okay, let's look at the file couple of file system, right? The file module, oh sorry, third party module also, yeah. So this one I can install one, but we don't have any program here. Okay, let me create the server, right? So let's call this server. Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna create server, but we just make it ready for that, right? So to start with any installation of the third party software or any software in your project, right, first you must so let's go back to the terminal. That is Money Stack, right? So I'm inside the Money Stack. I must connect to that folder. So let's see, I will go to cd node and then cd to the server, right? Okay, nodejs, and then after that we have server. I hope that is, yeah, ser, right? Why not cd server? Oh, cannot find. Oh sorry, in the class, right? In the class, and then there. Okay, okay, nodejs. Okay, so it's in the class cd, and then cd after that will be server. It's still not there. Okay, class, and then will be nodejs. My god, too many folder. cd server, right? Yeah, so finally I connect to that folder. Okay, so to install anything you must initialize your project. Initializing, right? So let's learn about that also. We have done, I think, in a JavaScript also, right? To initialize your project, what you do, you always do npm init, right? Init, okay, init, and enter, right? So when you do that, it will ask you the package name, right? So let's create let's call it server, right? Server, I mean, it will just give this name automatically. Okay, so then version 100, whatever there, description, I just put simple server, right? And index will be the entry point, fine. And the test command, nothing, just keep enter, right? Even if you don't put anything, that's okay, just put enter, and it's okay, yes, right, and done. So now inside this folder, what happened, we create this package.json. Why we need this file? Initializing your project folder means basically adding this package.json. How you do that? npm init node package manager initialize init, right? Init, do that, and it will create this package.json, because you're gonna install the third party software, and we need package.json to track your software, right? Basically to make sure that it install, and it is, the software name and all that is added here, right? just to keep track of your software. So if I want to install, let's say node1, right? So I say npm install node1, simple enough, node1. So see, it just installed the node1 now, right? If I go back to my dependency, you just see this object is added, dependencies node1 added, okay? And after that, see, before there was nothing, right? But package lock also, you can see package dash lock. So why package dash lock is there? Because node1 is using again another third party software, like some other software also, right? The help of other software as well. So the main software which we need will be in our package.json, and the third party software which is used by these software, right, will be added to this lock, package.lock, right? Okay, so means node1 is using something else, some other modules, library, whatever, their information will be installed here in the package lock, right? Okay, we don't do anything here, we don't add, delete, nothing, right? It just system will do automatically. You just install and done. Good enough. So sometimes, right, when you send this like to the server, there is a node module. This is a big file, right? So we must make sure we add the, what you call that, git ignore. So here you can put git ignore, right? So let me just get something from, maybe there is a React project. I'll just get one, right? Let's see, I just copy this one, okay? Because I don't want to push that whole node module, right? That will be a lot. So paste, yeah. So now in the git ignore, you see this node module is, I mean, it just added there, right? So it will be not pushed to the GitHub, because this node module is the folder, right, where all your modules installed can have their software added, right? See, this is a big file, okay? So there are so many things added here already. So when you install many modules, it will be just keep adding inside here, and that's how our program run, right? Okay, so I just installed one node module, sorry, the node one, right, in our server project. Now you can basically add the, let's add our index, right? Index.js, and here you can start creating, you know, your nodejs, whatever the code, right? You can start writing here. So we will just come back to the creation server later, right? We will come back and then create some server here, okay? All right, so that is the third party module we just installed. So I will close all this for now, and let's get back to the our step-by-step process. So just I, you know, with all this, right, I mean, I'm maybe saying so many things same time, but what you can remember, right, the module, okay? What is module? Just make a note, simple, just try very simply, okay? Module, and that will help you a lot. I mean, the rest you're gonna learn slowly, right? But the module you must understand. It's very important, right? Because sometimes we just, you know, you just call any functionality and we just don't realize, okay, what we are doing, right? And when we don't have realization, it just take a lot of time, okay? So that was the issue with me before, and I hope you guys feel same way, right? Some of you are very smart already, so, you know, but the most of us has problems. So I just want to put more emphasis on that, okay? All right, now, right, let's create here, what we can do now, let's say file system, right? So let's create one file here. I'll just create file.js, okay? And then we're going to learn about the file, right? File.js. So we say const fs file system, right? And then require fs, okay? Now in the files, if I have to look at some code, right, let's find out. I think you're gonna find here also, I think I added some code before. So see, these are the some definition you can look at, right? npm init, this is what we have done already. What is packages and what is packages and file, right? And then what is npm node package manager, what is module. There is article you can read. If you know, if not, if you understand, that's fine, right? Different type of module in nodejs. So file based module, built-in module, third party module. So the file based module means the module which we just created, our math module, right? And then built-in means we look at that http and the file system, two module we just look at, you know. And the third party, any software you install in your node project, that is third party module, right? We use nodemon for now. Okay, we can install express, but not today, tomorrow when we start using that one. Okay, or when we move to the express. Okay, so yeah, this is just the modules, all that, right? What we just, some example how you can like create something and then export, and you know. So you can export same thing. Remember we were exporting the text also, right? You can export one just object, you can export that, you know. Even you can add all the things inside the object, right? Like all the functionality, and export that one as well. You can do that as well. So, or you can add separate function and just export as an object. That's the http module. We will look at that. I want to see the file one first. Let's go back to the file system module, right? This is the built-in module of nodejs. It helps to create, read, write, update or delete file in our computer. So now in our computer, the file module help us to create, read, write, update, delete, all that. It is included in the file by using the require function. So you do this one, you know, variable name and then require file fs, right? It will, that means you have access to that functionality now, that object. So okay, so let's create, right? Let's create the first one. So in our module here, right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna just create something. Okay, so we're gonna create one file. So let's do that one. So fs dot, right, read file, but let's call it create something, create file. So there is copy file, no, cr create, right? Read file, write file. Okay, write file, I believe. Yeah, write file, right? So this, see, this is write file sync, and there will be write file only, right? Write files. So we're gonna check the difference between write file sync and just the write file. Okay, there will be fs dot write file, this one. Okay, so now the thing is, write file sync, right? This is a synchronous system. Synchronous now. Synchronous, right? Synchronous means it will run from top to bottom. Okay, means the one code, basically, let's say you have console log, right? Console log here, something console.log, maybe, you know, just a one, right? One. Then it will run this one. Then you're gonna have console log, let's call it 2, right? 2. So whatever you do, it will run this file, then it will run this, because this is synchronous, and then it will run this one. Write file is async now. Something async means it will just go away, stay there, finish the work, and then come back again, right? Asynchronous, like we had the fetch data, asynchronous program, right? We have learned that one. So even in the nodejs, in the file system, you can do things in two ways, synchronous and asynchronous. And why is that important? We will talk about that also. Okay, so but first let's create something here. So write file sync, right? Okay, so we're gonna create one file. So you have to give the file name. Okay, so in the same directory I want to create file called text.txt, right? Text file. Okay, text file. uh, text, let's call it maybe test, right? Test.txt, simple enough. And then what information you want to, what data you want to put here, right? Some information or some like something, you know. So let's call it hello world something, right? Hello world, world from nodejs, right? Something like that. Okay, now we just created the text file, and then done. This text will be added to this file. So now you're going to see this file added to our current directory here, right? So let's say current directory means current directory, right? So let's see how it works. Okay, so we are inside our, okay, let's do change here also, right? Let's get back to the node.js and cd module, right? Module, okay, class node.js, and I want to go to the module. Yeah, so and one more thing, that let's add this also, and then we're gonna test same time. Okay, both, right? Or unless I comment this out and then run this file. So we can do how you run the node.js file. Basically you must in the current directory and then node and then call the file name, right? So that is file.js. So we say fi, that is file.js, right? And enter. So see, I have 1 2, right? And you see the text here inside the module. You see the text, this file is created, test.txt, right? Clear? And if I open this one, you're going to see the text here, hello world node.js, right? So you are directly creating the file to your computer. Clear? You can create the file to your computer. So see, that's the 1 2, and also, but it did run that file also. Okay, it run that file, and then 2 is run, right? Basically it run this one, this, and then it run this one, and then this one, because this is synchronous system. Write file sync is synchronous. Synchronous means it will run one by one, okay, top to bottom, right? It will not jump or wait or nothing. But how are we going to create asynchronous? You just remove this file sync from here, and then it will be async. So let's write that also. So will be same thing. We're going to create let's say we're going to create maybe apple.txt file. Now you have to pass the what kind of, in asynchronous, right? You have to pass the file system, what file system you want to use, right? Here, so that normally we do utf, right? utf-8, that is the system we use, right, to create text file. Okay, and the standard, right? And then after it will ask for the so okay, so when creating, right, I think creating you don't have to do this one. Yeah, okay, let's remove that one. Let's add the, basically add the text, right? So this is async system, right? System, okay. And then after, right, one more thing you're gonna have to do, callback. Here, look at here, the callback function. You have to add callback function, which in asynchronous normally it will run this, right? This one, okay, this callback function you have to add. So here for now I'm not going to put anything, right? You can just leave it empty, or maybe you want to add error. If there is error, it will display console log error, right? You can do that, but you can even leave empty. So let's check now. So console log 1 2. I will put console log 3 here because you want to see, right, what happened to this one, okay, when it run, right? You want to see that. So let's run this code. So see, 1 2 3 and then null, right? 1 2 3 and null. So that is the null, means apple apple apple. There is apple apple here, right? See that apple is added, but after 1 2 3 here, it just returns something. This function returns something, right? That is null right now, undefined. Yeah, but this apple is added already. This is the async system. So look at here, it run one synchronous, all the synchronous work is done first, and then async run later, right? Later. That is asynchronous. So we learn how to create file, right? Okay, let's comment this out. Okay, now you can do the same thing reading file also, right? You can, because we have this apple and test right here. You can read that file also. You can read something from your document. So same thing, you learn how to write. Let's look at the one example with the read, right? So yeah, so fs so when you read it, I think it returns the data, right? So let's const, you can store whatever it returns, okay? Let's call it data for now, and fs dot read file, right? So you can do the read file synchronous, you can do that, and you give the file name, what you want to read from, or where from you want to read, right? So dot slash, I will pass test dot txt file I want to read, and what is the file type, right? So let's see, encoding now, right? That is the encoding here. So that is up, you have to add encoding. So let's add the encoding, and then yeah, I think that is enough. So that will be utf-8, that is encoding, okay? So now console log data, right? This console log this data, and see, because when it reads, that will be added to this data, and you can just console log. So let's check now, or let's run our code from here. See, you get hello world from nodejs, right? See that the whatever it reads, and it return to this one. So if you have a big file you want to read and you want to do something with that, you have that data here. You can do the string manipulations and find out something there, sort out, whatever you need to do, right? So that's why in nodejs there is so many things you can do, unlimited, right? Everything what you can do with other programming language, okay? So that is the one. You can do the same thing with synchronous, right? Sorry, async. This is synchronous. We're gonna write asynchronous now. So const, so in asynchronous, right, what happened now, it did not return something here, but it calls, because it did not do the work directly, okay? It has callback function inside. So we can say fs dot read file, right, like that, but no sync, just this one. You give the file name, what you want to read, right? So that will be apple dot txt. After that you need encoding also, right? Encoding, yeah, let's put the encoding. So that will be utf-8 kind of, and then after you pass the callback function. See when you have async, you must give a callback function, right? So let's do the callback function here. Okay, so the callback function is going to have what it's going to have, right? So we can pass, so because it will read, it's going to read, right? And whatever data it reads will be stored in one of the variable here. So let's call it error, right? The first one is error, and then we can call maybe result or something. Okay, result, right? Or data, you can call that. And now let's console log that result. Okay, good enough. So in a first, all this synchronous file will run, and then finally it will go here, right? So let's check. So let's run this code. See, this is a synchronous system, right? See that? Even if I put this on the top, let's put this on the top right here. Maybe we're thinking this will run first and then this will run, right? No, because this is synchronous, this will go first, okay? Because it will just occupy the thread, right? It will just go and do the job. Let's put here a couple of console log, so let's see. So it will be 3, and then it will run this code, and then finally this one, right? So 3, then it runs this one, hello world from nodejs, and finally async system, the top here, right? Okay, so now we see the file system, right? I mean, you see how file system work in the in our code here, right? You guys, after the class, you guys open this one and just read, right? Give a reading, little bit of a reading, practice what we just did, right? All that things. So see here, introduction, installation, how much JavaScript you need, right? All that. Difference between nodejs and browser, V8 engine. I mean, these are just the description, right? Then async. So if you look at a couple of things here, I mean, we learn about promise, async, await, and all. These are the things they are asking, right? So you should know if you are really just working on nodejs in the future, right? We must get better with all these kind of things from JavaScript. So like promises, async, await, closure, event loop. So these are the things we should know, right? But just read a couple of line here, right? When you get time. Okay, now let's get back to our process. But whatever I'm teaching, right, if you can just do that much and remember that is all is okay for now. We don't, because in nodejs in our course you're not gonna do anything heavy lifting. I mean, it's very difficult, right? Mostly you're not even gonna use, I don't think we're gonna use anything from here, okay? But why we are learning, that's the best, right? Why we learn JavaScript, that's the programming language for us, right? Node.js, same thing. To create a server, we're running on the Node.js environment, okay? So we must get familiar with Node.js. We must understand a couple of terminology, right? Like what is file system, what is OS, maybe what is HTTP, all that, right? So same thing, you can create like you can create a directory, right? You can create a even folder inside here, right? You can create folder, you can create subfolders, you can do so many things, okay? So let's create one folder for now, right? Let's create. So if I say fs and then dot, and there will be the function, maybe mk, let's call it mk, make dir sync, I think make dir sync. So let's call this dir sync, right? And this is the function. So you pass now the name of your folder. So let's give it my folder, right? Folder, okay? So that should work. It should create that my folder. So let's run this code, and inside here, see, my folder is created. Look at here. So even if you need to create a file in separate folder, you can do that also, okay? So you can create file, delete file, means update file. There are so many things you can do, okay? And how we use all that functionality, first you import your module, right? Require just stored in this variable, and then you use that. So that's how we use any modules. You just import that. Now you have everything inside that one variable, and we go step by step and use that one. Okay, so yeah, so that is the file system, right? We look at you can delete, so there is a, I think there is a delete also. So if you need to delete one file, right, let's say, let's look at here, let's say I want to delete this test.txt. so how I can do that? So fs, that is, let's say, I think on link, on link sync, or yeah, so let's call this on link, right, on link sync, and you just pass that file. So that will be dot slash, and you call it test.txt, and it should be removed from our folder here. So let's run the code. This, okay, so make, what happened now? There is something error, right? Throw error. Okay, so basically we try to delete here, right, and then it's reading the same file here also. So that may be the error. Okay, so let's comment this out. Okay, comment that out and then delete, right? So in that case you have to handle the asynchronous. Now you first read the file in async, and after reading that, then you can call this function to delete that file. So that might be okay, right? Did not delete. Unlink sync, unlink sync. I don't know what is the error again. Make dir, sync call make dir. Oh, so this is make dir, right? Make dir. Let's comment. I think that is the one is giving error. Okay, so now it's gone, right? That file is deleted. Okay, so that was the file, how to use the file system, right, which is the built-in module in the nodejs, and we did couple of examples, how to create, how to basically read and all that. Okay, async and synchronous both way. Now, right, the last thing we're going to look here is HTTP. Okay, so we have server already created, right? Server. So let's look at that quickly. So index.js. So you just import now, right? So const HTTP equal to require, and then you're gonna do HTTP, right? HTTP. Okay. So I will just show you a little bit more, and then we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna talk about this again tomorrow. Okay, so I don't want like add so many things same time, right? And then, because today your goal is to just focus how you create a module, how you import that, and then how you use that functionality, right? And everything is module, right? So just every time you import something, you visualize, oh, I'm getting this object, and object dot, I'm gonna grab that functionality from there. That is what I need to do, right? So I know I'm getting the function, I'm going to use that, right? That's what we're going to do. So just make yourself prepare, right? Just repeat that process many times and then get it ready. So HTTP now, right? HTTP is declared but value never read. So if you have to create server, what you do, right? So let's call it const, maybe again const server, right? Let's call it server. uh, server, yeah, I think should be an http dot, there is create server, okay, create server function now, server, right? And uh, this server will take what, this is going to take the callback function, okay, and there will be request and response. So server do what, request something and response something, a response, okay, and done. So now once you create the server, right, you have this callback function inside, and it will take request and response, okay. So now you can response something, right? So let's say response dot, I think ind, you can add ind, and then you pass something for now. So I will just pass HTML heading 1, right, and I call it hello world from server. I'm just creating simple one, okay, and then we're gonna change this, basically upgrade this, right, later or maybe tomorrow. Okay, so you just create a server, you just created this and install added to this variable, but you have to listen to the port, right? Now what is port? Now the port is the point in your computer, right, like the transport, like the transit from where the data will transport, right? So let's call this port maybe something, so server, there will be another in this server now, right, you're going to have another function called listen, right, that is a function, and then you pass the port here, maybe 5000, like that, and you can, there is callback function, let's undefined number, callback, okay, let me check quickly, right, so even here I think we should be fine. So port and host name, and okay, there is a, you can add even callback function, right, so you can add this callback function. So let's do that one. So we can, I can leave it like this, but I can add callback function, right, and just to, add some console log, right, console.log, and I say server is running, running in port, on port maybe port 5000, right, something like that. So if this everything okay, this will print, okay, and then we can do localhost 5000, right, when you do localhost 5000 you should get this message on the browser. So let's run this. Okay, so now you can do, right, what you can do is okay, I will show you something. First cd dot dot, I need to go back to the nodejs and then connect to the server, right, cd server, and then I will say node index, right, inside the server you have what, index.js file, that is our file, right, index.js, and run, and see the server is running now, server is running on port 5000, that means our server is online now, okay. You can go here and test, so I can say localhost 5000, that's our root now, root, right, localhost 5000, okay, enter, and hello world from server, see that, so we already online now, we just created the first server in our nodejs. Now similarly, right, you're gonna have a lot of routes like localhost, maybe about page, right, when you do that, right now you're not gonna get anything because we don't have the route for that one. Localhost 5000 maybe contact page, contact, right, enter, you don't have route for that. So what we will do, we will try to understand this again tomorrow, the server in more details, and then we're gonna create server using express, because the what we're gonna use in our system is express, use express to create a server, right, that is what we need for our backend. Server is going to have all the backend things, right? Like you create all the routes for all your page, right? In the backend, you're gonna have the functionality. So when you call localhost slash contact page, or maybe localhost maybe product page, when that page runs, right, there will be a functions, built-in functions, which will be getting data from our API, from our maybe database and all that. But that will come later on, right? But tomorrow we just learn how to create server in details using Express, and also we're gonna add some more things in the nodejs and try to understand. Okay, we just focus on creating server tomorrow. Okay guys, so today your goal will be what? Module, right? Module, just create module, understand. Okay, just get it right, just get it, that one. Okay, 100%. That is one thing I want you guys to do right today. Even you can take one example, right? Let's do this one. I will give you some example. uh, what you can do, right? I was just thinking, why not you do let's go back to our javascript. So if you open this GitHub link, your exercise, right, daily work, in decomposition pattern, this is the decomposition, right? Because you're gonna have a functionality. So let's say, let's for example, there are, what is here? Okay, let's for example, right, is prime. Everyone has solved this, right? How to solve this is prime number. So you're gonna write this function is one file, and you're gonna import that, right? Import that in another file, because you're gonna need help of this function to solve this function, this problem, you know. So you can do that also, combine, right? Write in one file, import that one, and use in another file. Okay, so just try, right? Just give a try. If you need help, let me know, okay, later, right? I mean, I can create now, but I want you guys to do that, because and ask me if any issue. So you can create simple examples. You can use couple of examples from here. You add in couple of functions in one file, import that in other file, and use it. Okay guys, so I'll stop here now.